Lord Vishnu. Third, to disobey the... One second. Third, to disobey the order of the spiritual master. 4, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. 5, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6, to give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. 7, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in Vedas as fruitive activity karma kanda. 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10, to not to have a complete faith in chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success of Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining today's Bhakti Sanga conference call. May I know who all joined this morning?
हरे कृष्ण विनीता गंधर्विका माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय, प्रीतिदासी फ्रॉम शार्लोट। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Priti Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day, giving your association. Welcome to the call, Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Kandirika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all the devotees. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Ashama devotee. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association every single day. Welcome to the call, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharva Mataji, all Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj's. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidas from Nala. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day, blessing all of us with your sweet association. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna, is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances to Mataji and all the devotees assembled here. I'm Sudhakar joining from Saudi Arabia.
Hare Krishna, Sudhakar Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu, for joining, and all glories to your sweet services to the group. Welcome to the group, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Shamagari Devinasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shamagauri Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining, and all glories to your wonderful services, Mataji. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Shobha Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and Gauranga. All glories to all the assembled devotees on the call. This is Harita from Missouri City, Texas, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Harita Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead. Okay, we will start the recording then. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sanga conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Haridas Thakur Prabhu to enlighten us on the topic of SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, 8th Canto, 4th chapter, 2 to 4 verses. Before I hand over the call to Prabhu, I request Suresh Sham Prabhuji to take over from here and give a brief introduction about today's speaker.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Here is a brief introduction about Prabhuji. His Grace Haridas Thakur is an engineering graduate currently serving as Vice President at a Swedish multinational company with 28 years of corporate experience. Prabhuji has been practicing Krishna consciousness for the past 22 years and a disciple of His Holiness Loknath Swami Maharaj. Regularly conducts Bhagavad Katha Saptas and serves as a Bhakti Shastri teacher. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Back to you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for that brief introduction, and thank you for your services, Prabhuji. I don't see Prabhu on the call. We can chanting and Prabhuji joins. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Gadara Srivas Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare. I think Prabhuji is joining. He needs to connect to the audio. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for joining and giving your valuable time and association this morning and enlightening us on the topic of SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. I now hand over the call to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, kindly accept my most humble obeisances. I'm thankful to all of you for giving me a chance to speak something about Srimad Bhagavatam. This is for my own purification, and I just seek your blessings to be able to liberate something for children. So I will just share my screen so that first. I hope the verse is visible, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chayeva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamadhiraye. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Sloke Bhaktivati Neshriti. So the verse for discussion today is 842. So I will read it. Nedurudunduvayo dipya Gandharva Nadirtu Raju Risyas Charana Siddha Tustubu Purushottamam. Do some devotees want to read, if they at all can? Okay, no problem. I will read the translation. The translation of the verse is, there was a weaving of cattle drums in the heavenly planets. The inhabitants of Gandharva began to dance and sing, while great sages and the inhabitants of Charanaloka and Sudaloka offered prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Purushottama. I will read next two verses also. Yosau graha savai sadya parmascharu pudrak mukto deval shapena huhura Gandharva sattama प्रणम्य शीर्षाधीशम् उत्तम श्लोकम् अव्ययम् अगायते शोधाम कीर्तन गुणसत कथम. Translation is: the west of the Gandharvas, King Huhu, having been cursed by Deval Muni, had become a crocodile. Now, having been delivered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he assumed a very beautiful form as a Gandharva. Understanding by whose mercy this had happened, he immediately offered his respectful obeisances with his hand and began chanting prayers just suitable for the transcendental Lord, the Supreme Eternal, who is worshipped by the choicest verses. Purport. The story of how the Gandharva had become a crocodile will be described later. The curse by which the Gandharva took this position was actually a blessing, not a curse. One should not be displeased when a saintly person curses someone, for his curse indirectly is a blessing. The Gandharva had the mentality of an inhabitant of the celestial planetary system, and for him to become an associate of the Supreme Lord would have taken millions of long years. However, because he was cursed by Deval Rishi, he became a crocodile, and in only one life was fortunate enough to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face, and he promoted to the and be promoted to the spiritual world to become one of the Lord's associates. Similarly, Gajendra was also delivered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead when he was freed from the curse of Agastya Muni. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunamilintamaina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkrapatamahamam Vande Sri Gurudena Taranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Vanchakalpatarubhisya Kripa Sindhuye Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणि निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणि. So this chapter I will just, in order to relate to the context, this is the first verse, deliverance of Gajendra. श्रीशुकुवाच तदा देवर्षि गंधर्वा ब्रह्मोत्सान पुरोगमा मुमुचु उस्मासारम संसन्तः कर्म तद्धरे. Sri Sukdev Goswami said, when the Lord delivered Gajendra, king of the elephants, all the demigods, sages, and Gandharvas headed by Brahma and Shiva praised this activity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and showered flowers upon both the Lord and Gajendra. And this is in continuation. There was a beating of kettle drums in the heavenly planets. The inhabitants of Gandharva began to dance and sing, while great sages and the inhabitants of Sharanloka and Siddhaloka offered prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Purushottama. So, we may think, what is that so surprising or greatness about the Lord to deliver a elephant or a crocodile? Why are the gods so surprised or so praising the Lord and the elephant, Gajendra? Because for the Lord, anything is possible. And but what is so surprising in this? What is so good in this act of the Lord? Let's try to understand this thing. Actually, this Huhu Gandharva, who was cursed by Rishi Deval in his previous life, he was a Gandharva, and Gandharva Loka is a celestial planet. And as Prabhupada is writing, the mentality in the celestial planet is of enjoyment. And in the celestial planets and heavenly planets, once promoted there, one is simply bound to, enjoy his, pious activities. This land of Bharatvarsha is said to be the land of karma only. Here, a person can earn some piety and he can enjoy his pious activities of previous life also. So simultaneously, in human form of life, when one is born on Bhumandala, particularly Bharatvarsha, there one can enjoy as well as he can, worship the Lord or perform austerities also here simultaneously. One can consume his pious activities of previous life, and one can also create pious activities for future lives. One can, by dint of performing austerities and pious activities, attain heavenly planets, or one can even attain the Vaikuntha Loka or Goloka by performing devotional service. So all these options and facilities are available in the form of human life when particularly one is born in the Bharatvarsha. So the demigods, when they are promoted to the, heavenly planets, Bhagavad Gita says, Tetam bhuktva sarvalokam visalam, chine punya loke vishanti, evam trayi dharmam anuprapanna, gata gata kam kama labhante. Lord Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Tetam bhuktva sarvalokam visalam. These demigods, after enjoying for a very, very long period the heavenly facilities, chine punya loke vishanti, when their, piety, or let's say results of pious activities are exhausted, then they come down to the earth. Mritu loke vishanti. And thus they again, by evolutionary process, they will be born as humans. And in humanly body, not necessarily they will attain or, attain the association of the devotees. So, evam trayi dharmam prapanna. Thus, most people, undergo by the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. Evam Trai Dharma means Dharma Arth Kam only. It's not necessarily that a person who is falling down from the, heavenly planets and after evoluting through many species of life, attains human form of life, will necessarily be, delivered. You will attain salvation. This is not necessary. In more likeliness, a person will, keep on, transmigrating in various form of life. And at the best, in human form of life, he will be performing only three things: dharma, arth, kam. He will be, engaging himself in some activities. He will be earning some money, earning some piety, and he will be just enjoying. So, ebam trayi dharma matpapanna gata gatam kam kama lavante. Thus, people only, thus they attain only the, birth and death. Gata gatam kama kama. Kama kama means, material suffering and material enjoyment. And gata gata means birth and death. So these demigods and the inhabitants of Gandharva Loka, they also have the same mentality. But these demigods in the in the fifth canto of Bhagavatam, we read, they say, Kim duskrain kritubhi tapovritai, dan adibhiva dujin falgna, nayatra narayan pad pankaj, smriti pramasta asya indriya usvat. They are just lamenting for having attained this, heavenly planets. They say, what all austerities be performed, what all sacrifices be performed, kim duskrain kritubhi tapovritai, what all kind of charities be performed, dan adibhiva. Charity, chastity, and what all not they performed in the previous lives. And they say, and with what all difficulty we attend to this heavenly planet. Nayatra Narayan Pada Pankaj, but unfortunately in this heavenly planet, we do not have any remembrance for the lotus feet of the Narayan. We do not have any devotion because bhog aise prasakta nam taya parchit sa. When one is engaged in the material happiness, enjoyment of material happiness, then a person cannot engage in the devotion service of the Lord. This is a principle. So they say, Naitra Narayan Pada Pankaja Smriti Pramusta Asya Indi Usravat. Having enjoyed so much here, we have forgotten the Lord. And they say further that Yad Yatrana Sukha Avaseshitam, Swishtasya Sukta Sikrata Shovanam, Ten Ajanabe Smriti Mat Janmashat, Barse Harim Idvaitam Samtanoti. If at all after enjoying this heavenly planet, if I have any piety, or let's say result of pious activities, remaining in my account, then, oh my Lord, kindly give me birth in the Bharat Varsha. Because in the Bharat Varsha, ten Ajanabe Smriti Mat Janmasyat. Ajanab means Bharat Varsha. Ajanab is the name of the Bharat Varsha, previous name of Bharat Varsha, because Lord Rishabdev, whose Ajanama was born as son of King Nabhi. And therefore, King Nabhi, seeing his son with qualities of the Lord, he named this Bharat Varsha was named as Ajanav Varsha. Then Rishabdev begot 100 sons, and out of them Bharat was the eldest. And on his name, this Ajanav Varsha came to be known as Bharat Varsha. So these demigods are saying that if at all I have any piety remaining in my account, kindly give me birth in the Bharat Varsha, because people in Bharat Varsha, they are performing devotional service. And through Varnashrama, they are performing devotional service by which they elevate themselves, up to the Vaikuntha Loka. So these demigods are having this kind of, mentality of enjoyment and at the same time, mentality of lamentation also. And they desire to be born in Bharat Varsha so that they can perform the devotional service, engage themselves in the devotional service. So Prabhupada is writing this Huhu Gandharva, he had the mentality as that of demigods. And that is the mentality of enjoyment. So if he had to go by the cycle of evolution, then like demigods, he would have to fall down from the celestial planets on the earth, and then not necessarily as a human being, maybe some other kind of creature. And then, out of evolution, he would have evolved to the human form of life. And then, if at all he was fortunate enough to associate with saintly persons, he would have gotten devotional service of the Lord. And not necessarily a person born as a human being will get the association of the devotees and thus the devotional service of the Lord. Because we see so many kind of humans, and many of us have been to celestial planets many times. Many of us. Some of us are on the way to heavenly planets, or some of us have come down from the heavenly planets. And out of all these humans, there are many who have even come down from the celestial planetary systems, but they do not engage in devotional service. They do not get an opportunity to engage in devotional service. So Prabhupada is elaborating that for this Huhu Gandharva to be delivered from this, from the body of a Gandharva, it would have been taken many years and many births for him. But the interesting is that just because he was cursed by Devalsi, he got delivered only in one life. And this is what the demigods are able to appreciate, and that's why they are, praising the Lord. And similarly for the elephant, that is King Indradumna. He was, though devotee of the Lord in his previous life, but he was cursed by Agastya Muni in the previous life. So, though he was a devotee of the Lord, but not necessarily he would have been promoted to Vaikuntha Loka in that very life. Because people perform devotion for many lives, but not necessarily everybody gets promoted to Vaikuntha Loka in the same life. So not necessarily Indradumna would have been promoted to the Vaikuntha Loka in the same life. But here, after having been cursed by Agast Muni and having been granted the body of an elephant, by the mercy of the Lord, he has been delivered in the very life. And even if he had to, go by the evolutionary process from the body of elephant, he would have taken thousands of births, then he would have attained the body of a human. And not necessarily, even after attaining the body of a human, he would have attained the devotion. And even after attaining the devotion, he would not have necessarily got delivered. So here he got, delivered only in one life. So this is the, result of cursing. Or the curses of sages are always benediction. Just as killing of the Lord, just as killing by the Lord is a benediction for the, asuras. Similarly, the curses uh, by the saintly persons are always benediction. We can see in the case of Nalkubar and Margreeve also. They were the sons of Kuvera, as we know. And as we know that they had the facility of enjoyment in certain places by the benediction given by Lord Shiva. And they have the facility of associating with Lord Shiva also. So they were enjoying with the women. And when Narad Muni happened to pass by from there, these women, they covered their bodies, but these two sons of Kuvera, Nalkuvar and Malgriva, they were standing just like a shameless person. Naradji just went to be thinking, how should they be corrected? And how, if at all they should be corrected, then they should be cursed. And if at all they should be cursed, then what form of curse they should have given? And there Narad is thinking, since they are the sons of Kubera, a very rich person, so they must be made very poor person. Because there Narad is telling about poverty, benefit about the poverty or of a poor person. There Narad is saying, Daridro nirham stambo mukta sarva madayya krakshe nidaksha apnoti tatyase parantapa. Naraji is thinking a poor person is devoid of all false ego. Daridro narham stambo. He is devoid of all false ego and pride. Mukta sarva madayya. He is devoid of all kind of intoxication. Krakshe nidaksha apnoti. With difficulty, whatever he gets, tatyase parantapa. Since with difficulty he gets his, daily bread, therefore that difficulty becomes his austerity. So this is one good thing Naraji is saying about the poor people. And there he says, Nityam chutcham deyasya daridrasya anyakanchana indriyan anusunsanti hinsa apivinivartate. The poor people suffering due to hunger daily. Nityam chutcham deyasya. Their body and the senses, they become very weak. Since the senses become very weak, and therefore they do not have the lust or lusty desires, and they do not have any violent intentions also. A person becomes violent when his senses are, when his senses are have become very powerful. A person become lusty when his senses are become very powerful, because senses are compared with the venomous snake. So senses, when they are given, when the body is given too much of, uh, uh, too much of food, then their senses become like venomous snake. 2 days Pandam Nirjala Ekadasi in India. I do not about there. And this fasting of Ekadasi is meant to reduce the demands of the body. Because if we are supposed to practice to live by the less requirements of the body. By gradually decreasing the demands of the body, we give the body a conditioning that conditioning to sustain on the minimal needs. Even a soldier in the army, he is trained to live on fasting, because it may happen sometime in the battlefield. He may not get the necessary food and even water, and then he may have to fight. If he does not fight, he will be killed by the enemy. So similarly, we devotees, we practice austerity on ekadasis by reducing the demands of the body, because when the body is given minimum of the demands, minimum of the ingredients is required for its sustaining, then the senses you know become calm. They do not become very agitated, and then there's the least chance for one to incur the sun. The same thing Naraji is thinking here, when he's making up his mind to curse these Nalkuva and Madgreave. He's making up his mind and he's thinking what curse should be given to them. There he's thinking that since they are sons of a very rich person, they should be made very poor, because a poor person, nityam chutsham deyas daridras and kangsha indriyan anusansinti hinsa apivinvartate. Having suffered out of hunger for days and days, such a person's senses become very calm, and he does not have any violent intentions also. And then Naraji also thinks and goes, a step further. He says, Daridrasya vijante sadhava samdarsana. Those saintly person who are samdarsi, who see everybody with equal vision, they easily associate with the Daridras. Daridras means with poor people. Daridrasya vijante sadhava samdarsana. Sadvi chudoti tam tarsam tatarat visudati. And by association of such saintly persons, a poor person can be delivered very easily and very quickly. So then Naraji, curses these Nalkubar and Madgreave to become trees. Because trees are, first of all, they are without clothes. And since they were standing, these Nalkubar and Madgiri were standing without clothes. So Naraji thought of, you are shameless, so you become like trees because they do not wear any clothes. And then trees are poor also. Poor in the sense they have to live for, hundreds and thousands of years. And the trees have to suffer all kind of onslaught of nature, be it rain, be it, fog, or wheat very cold, wheat very hot, or wheat storm, anything. The tears and the trees have to suffer all this. So their life becomes life like poorless and destitute people who spend their nights and day on the footpath. So Naraji discussed them, and thinking behind this was that only that when these puffed up sons of Kuber, Nalkubar and Mudgreave will be cursed like this, their mentality somehow will come down. The material world is like this only. Here, when we have certain facilities, we enjoy, and out of enjoyment, we become puffed up and we become, sinful. We become sinful. Then the nature punishes us, and then the fortunate person realizes this thing, that why I have suffered, and he tries to correct himself in his actions. While unfortunate person does not realize this thing, and then he keeps on, committing sinful activities further and further, and he keeps on suffering again and again. The result is that he goes, in the lower species of life and suffers repeated birth and death, old age and disease. And that this keeps on happening in the material creation. So these Nalkuvar and Malgreave, man, they were delivered by the Lord. They become very happy and they said, Nama Parma Kalyana, Nama Parma Mangala, Vasudevaya Santa Yadunam Patake Namaha. These Nalkuvar and Madgreave, man, they were delivered. They, they praised the Lord with prayers like Nama Parma Kalyana. O my Lord, you are all auspicious. I offer my obeisances unto you. Nama, hmm, Nama Parma Kalyan, Nama Parma Mangala, Vasudev Santaya. You are all pervading Lord, who is completely in peace. And Yadunam Pate Nama. You are the protector of the Yadu dynasty. I offer my obeisances unto you. So, thus these two, sons of Nalkubar, Kuber were delivered by the curse of Naraji. Thus, the curses of the sages are like benedictions. These are blessings in disguise, just as killing by the Lord is blessing in disguise. And we can see that Lord, whichever way, whether Lord is killing Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, or he is killing, Vatsasur, Aghasur, Putana, or anyway, this all is very sweet. Karanam madhuram taranam madhuram haranam madhuram ramanam madhuram bamitam madhuram shamitam madhuram bamitam madhuram shamitam madhuram madhuradipate akhilam madhuram madhuradipate akhilam madhuram. The Lord of the sweetness is sweet in whole, because Karanam Madhuram, Taranam Madhuram, his deliverance of anyone is also sweet. And Haranam Madhuram, when he kidnaps anybody, that's also very sweet. Huh? Ramanam Madhuram, when he associates and enjoys with anybody, that's also very sweet. Bamitam Madhuram, Samitam Madhuram. Shamitam means killing of even the demigods by the Lord is also very sweet. Why it should not be sweet? Because he the Lord of the all sweetness. Madhuradipate Akhilam Madhuram. All the acts of the Lord are all full of sweetness because he is the Lord of the sweetness. The all sweetness, all the bliss, it is just coming out of him. He's the source of, he's the ocean of, sweetness. So these demigods, they understand this thing. That how difficult it would have been for the, Huhu Gandharva to attend the lotus feet of the Lord, because they know for them this is also very difficult to attend the lotus feet of the Lord. So they become very pleasing and praiseworthy for the Lord. They praise the Lord because they know very well that it is a rare, chance for anybody to be killed and delivered by the Lord. So for Huhu Gandharva to be delivered, it was a very rare opportunity. And here for the Gajendra also, the Gajendra also got delivered. So in what ways, in for the what the Gajendra and the Devala, sorry, who Gandharva, the demigods are just surprised and praising the Lord. How merciful is the Lord! How merciful is the Lord! And how merciful are the sages! That by the curse of devil and by Agast Muni, both of them got delivered only in one life, while it may take thousands and millions of life for one in the celestial or heavenly planets to go delivered by by the Lord and promoted to the Vaikuntha planets. So they are beating cattle drums whenever there is deliverance of any kind of asura, Aghasur, Vratasur, Battasur, Byomasur, Kishi in Vrindavan. Whenever, and even Kansa, anyway, whenever they were killed and delivered, the demigods were very happy. They praised the Lord and they showered flowers. They were happy two ways, because first of all, the asuras were being killed, which the demigods want to be killed, and second thing, they were being delivered also. So they were praising the Lord both way. For the Lord's, uh, uh, heroic activity, that Lord is killing them, and for the Lord's, very merciful activity, that the Lord is delivering them also. So this is what in these verses the demigods and inhabitants of other planets like Chanana, Gandharva, Siddha, they are praising the Lord and the elephant, because how fortunate is the elephant? How fortunate is this crocodile who that he got delivered only in one life. Otherwise, 400,000 of species. जलज नमलखानी स्थावर लख विंशति गिरमय रुद्र सांख्यिका पछड़ा 10 लखानी पास वास त्रिम्स लखानी मनुष्य चतुर लखानी. This is the division of 8400,000 of species. Jalaj Namlakhani. There are 9 lakh kind of 900,000 kind of aquatics. Jalaj Namlakhani. Isthavar Lakh Bimsati. Trees and plants, they are 20,000, that is 20 lakhs. And Kramairod Sankhika, creepers. This crocodile belongs to creeping, community or creeping species. So, Kramairudhu Sankika, there are 11 lakh kind of creepers. Pachram Deslakhani, and there are 10 lakh kind of birds. And Pasvastrim Slakhani, there are 30 lakh kind of animals. Manusya Chatur Lakhani, and there are 400,000, that is 4 lakh kind of humans. And if we sum this all up, this becomes 84,000 of species. So anybody who is falling from the Gandharva Loka or let's say heavenly planet, not necessarily he will be born as a human. He may have to, undergo through the all evolutionary process. On an average, this takes million of years for one to, pass through the birth cycle of birth and death from the 84,000 of species. So that way it was very surprising, and it was very, praiseworthy for the Lord, for the demigods, that the Lord delivered them only in one life. So that's why they are just beating their kettle drums and showering flowers and chanting hymns for the Lord, who is praised by the chosen verses. That's how they are glorifying the Lord. So thank you all very much. If there are any questions, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for such a beautiful class, wonderful class, so informative. And thanks for sharing the story of Uhu Gandharva. Now, I have one question, Prabhuji. So, even the Gandharvas or demigods, I mean, how ghastly actions can they do in the higher planetary system that they are not guaranteed to have a human body when they descend? I mean, for example, how bad can somebody do up there with their consciousness that so even a human body is not guaranteed when they fall back here?
Yeah, it's not necessarily Mataji. Because think of a person, like they say, demigods say, if at all I have any piety in my, account, I want to be born in India. So when they say, if I have at all any piety remaining in my account, so it may happen that somebody's account may be completely exhausted. It is because of, result of pious activities that we have gotten this human form of life. We can understand very easily. So if somebody is exhausted completely of his, piety, that is result of pious activities in his account, then he will have to go to the lowest species. Does it make sense, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. So, okay, let's say the piety is exhausted. Does it mean that their sins are extremely high, as a result of which they have to go to the lowest planetary system and they cannot be neutral?
Actually, not like that. Their sins are not, the sins are not high because they are not committing sins for sure there, but they are enjoying only the pious activities.
True.
But even if, let's say, the human form of body we get is just to suffer, sinful activity as well as the pious activities. Both activities we are suffering as of now. But the demigods, let's say, when they are exhausted of any piety, that means they do not have any good results in their account. And a human form of life one gets only after one has gotten some pious activity, result of pious activity in that account, isn't it?
Okay.
So if they are exhausted of any pious activity, result of pious activity, then how will they get the birth of a human? And if at all, let's say they get human form of life, then there are 400,000 kind of humans. There are many humans who are living like animals. So,
Okay.
right. And let's say, for the sake of argument, even if they are born as humans, not necessarily they will be born as civilized humans or humans who can partake in, varnashram, or or who have gotten the opportunity to associate with the saintly person, so that they can become, devotees and elevate themselves to go back in the same life. So that way also for them it is not guaranteed that in one life they will be delivered, while here by the curse of a says they are being delivered in the one life only. This is what the point is.
Right. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So, as far as I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, it's true that they are not committing sins up there as celestial beings, but at the same time, they have exhausted all their pious activities. So, we
Yes.
don't know what kind of form they will get. It's again by
Yes,
the
ma'am.
mercy of the Lord. They can even go back to the number one, which is like a jellyfish, and start again to evolve,
And if not,
if not.
let's say number one, they may go somewhere in between also.
Hmm.
You know, if not at all at number one, they may go in somewhere in between also.
In between also, yeah. Does it depend on their tendencies, Prabhu? Like they enjoy.
It depends on the consciousness.
Hmm.
Like even Lord Brahma, there are two kind of Brahma, as we know, Mataji. One is introvert Brahma, one is extrovert Brahma. Introvert Brahma is the devotee of the Lord, and extrovert Brahma is not devotee of the Lord. So these demigods, out of enjoyment, somebody's mentality, or let's say consciousness, may become so much contaminated that he may completely forget the Lord.
True.
He may completely forget the Lord, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhuji, thank you so much for such a beautiful answer. Prabhu, if you can expand a little bit more about extrovert Brahma and introvert Brahma. I'm so sorry,
Okay,
Prabhuji, I don't know.
introvert Brahma means devotee, a Brahma who is devotee of the Lord, who does not want to enjoy, but he want to perform, his duty as a Brahma, as the order of the Lord. But extrovert Brahma is the one who want to enjoy. All of us have been born as Brahma one time.
True.
When the living being first came in contact with in this material world, he was given the post of Brahma. It
Yes.
is said that all of us have been born as Brahma one time. But we were not introvert Brahma. If we would have been introvert Brahma, we would have returned from there self to the Goloka or Vaikuntha. We were extrovert Brahma, and therefore out of forgetting the Lord only, we have become now repeated Brahma. As humans, we are Brahma. As animals, we are Brahma. Brahma means we have our own families, our creation. We want
I
to enjoy this creation. So we become extrovert Brahma. So extrovert Brahma means we are now small extrovert Brahma. We have a small family, like this Gajendra had a small family, and he went with his wives and children, to take a dip in that sarovar, in that pond, and there he was caught by this crocodile, which is eternal time here, in fact. So all of us are actually extrovert Brahma in this material creation.
How wonderful, Prabhuji. It's so wonderful you were explaining. Thank you so much. I'm hungry for a little bit more of the knowledge. So, Prabhu, when we first fall down, who chooses that we are born as an introvert Brahma or extrovert Brahma? Is it our tendencies that make us choose?
Actually, yeah, of course, it's our tendency. It's only our tendency to make us choose. Like, I will give you one example. There was a monkey called Duvida. If you have heard in Ramayana, he was brother of Mehndra, and he fought from the side of Rama against Ravana. And he was very powerful. The name of Duvida and Ben, uh, Duvida and Man has been mentioned. They have been mentioned as powerful as Hanuman. But out of he simply underestimated the power of Lakshman, and therefore his mentality became contaminated, and he became associate of Narakasur and Banasur, and he became totally a atheist person. A person who fought on the side of Rama, he became completely atheist. So atheist that he started doing some sinful and shameful activities against Lord Balrama, and ultimately he was killed by Lord Balrama. So a person's, even a devotee's consciousness may anytime be, turned anyway. Like the consciousness of Chitraketu, King Chitraketu. He was very, very elevated devotee of the Lord, but by curse of Parvati, goddess Parvati, he became a Vrittasura. So, but if you ask me who chooses here, for example, out of our activities here, it is the nature, the all powerful, energy, external energy, that is the Maya, Devi Esa Gudmayi Maya Durutya. This energy of the Lord, this decides, who's actually, abiding by the rules of the material nature and who's actually not abiding by the rules. So that's how we become punishable. But your question is that when we first fell down, let's say from Vaikuntha, what was that, made us extrovert or introvert? It was simply the mentality or the tendency there, as you said.
How wonderful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Many pranams at your lotus feet, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Sudhakar.
Sudhakar Prabhuji, please go ahead with your question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Just want to clarify in this story, we learned that crocodile, earlier he was a Gandharva in the past life, was delivered or liberated, right? I'm not sure. That's why I'm asking this question. When we say liberated or delivered, he's gone back to the Gandharva Loka, right? Not to the God's abode. Whereas Gajendra has gone to the God's abode. This is what I heard it. Is my understanding right?
Yeah, but yeah, that was also my understanding, Prabhu. But Prabhupada's purport, if you read, Prabhupada is saying he was delivered by the Lord. He was delivered by the Lord. I will just read it for you.
Yeah. Here, what I'm trying to know is the difference between the delivered and liberation.
Okay, I will
Like,
just see. Yeah. The Gandharva had the mentality of an inhabitant of the celestial planetary system, and for him to become an associate of the Supreme Lord would have taken million of long years. The Gandharva, you know. However, because he was cursed by Devil Rishi, he became a crocodile, and in only one life was fortunate enough to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face and be promoted to the spiritual world to become one of the Lord's associates. So that means Prabhupada is writing in the purport that this Gandharva, he became associate of the Lord in one life only.
that's a little bit confusing to me, Prabhuji. Sorry. When you
Yeah,
say
see,
associate of the Lord, and then correct me if I'm wrong, because I may be overread wrong. And when at the time of the liberation, all these demigods and Gandharvas are coming and praising him. So it's not somewhere matching, or the timings of is not matching. When you say associate of the god, then how does the Gandharvas and all, they will be happy? Because I'm not able to get that one.
actually, I will read it again for you. Can I share this on a screen, Prabhu, so that
Yeah,
we
you
all
can.
can read? I will just try to share. Just a minute. Just a minute. I will just share. Yeah. I hope you can see the screen, Prabhu.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's read it carefully. The story of how the Gandharva had become a crocodile will be described later. The curse by which the Gandharva took this position was actually a blessing, not a curse. One should not be displeased when a saintly person curses someone, for his curse indirectly is a blessing. The Gandharva had the mentality of an inhabitant of the celestial planetary system. Mentality of the celestial planetary system is that, Prabhu, of enjoyment. This is what, and enjoyment mentality means a forgetfulness in mentality towards the Lord. And for him to become an associate of the Supreme Lord would have taken million of long years to become associate. However, because he was cursed by Devil Rishi, he became a crocodile and in only one life was fortunate enough to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face and be promoted to the spiritual world to become one of the Lord's associates. So actually, Prabhupada is writing that he became an associate of the Lord.
Yeah, as per the property is like that. But, yeah.
Yeah, as per the
But what,
Prabhupada, yes, bro.
what I learned from others is that he has been, you can say, delivered or released to back to
Yeah,
the Gandharva
that
Loka. Like, like
actually,
a jail, you get a bail, like a bail only. It's not permanent release. The guy who is done mistake, he can be released from the prison on bail, like that. This is my understanding. I don't know if I'm wrong. You can correct me.
actually,
Similarly,
no.
Nalkubar also, what I understood was Lord Krishna, yes, by his Leela, they got delivered and they went back to the same demigod, right? It's not they become associate of the god. Is it my understanding right? Or
Yeah, this is what is written in Bhagavatam also, what you are saying. Clearly it is written. And but one thing is there. When these actually, but they become completely devoted to the Lord. Because they said, these Nalkubar and Madgriv said, let my words always glorify you. Let my mind always meditate upon your lotus feet. Let my body be always engaged in activities, mean to please you, to satisfy you. And this is how, they completely surrendered themselves and they actually became devotee of the Lord. They said that I do not want anything other than glorifying you, working for you, meditating upon you. This is what they wanted. So actually, and when the Lord said, okay, be it so. So even when, let's say, assume for the sake of argument, even if they return to the Gandharva Loka, they were also the Gandharvas. So even if they return to the Gandharva Loka, let's say, but they now acquired the mentality of a devotee by the blessing of the Lord. But one more interesting or contrasting thing that can come here is this: in the Gandharva Loka or in the celestial planetary systems, one does not have the mentality of a devotee. That's the quality of that loka. That's the quality of the celestial planetary systems. Devotees, there is not the mentality of the devotee. The demigods want to become devotee of the Lord, but they cannot become because there is so much of facility of enjoyment, so much of facility. There is always some kind of festival going on for the sense enjoyment. This is what demigods are saying. So,
we can say
but
Maya is
from
more stronger for them in a way.
yes, Prabhu, wherever
The
there is
effect of the Maya.
yeah, because wherever there is enjoyment is the effect of Maya. We can say it's so stronger there. It's so stronger there. And but from the purport here of the Prabhupada, I also have the same understanding what you were saying earlier. But from the purport of the Prabhupada, this is what is the conclusion.
Okay, because I had this doubt on 2-3 incidents. I'm not sure. Like Lord Krishna also, rescues Draupadi from Dushasan, right? So, but Dushasan does not get liberated, nor even what do you call uh, anything there. He just stays in the same plan of his consciousness, right? Whereas Krishna, when he came and he killed many demons, they are all definitely liberated back to his godhead, like all the demons, like Putana and all. So they were once upon a time devotees. So what I understood was God personally comes to this earth to liberate the devotees. Some devotees maybe in the form of sages, maybe some devotees take the role of negative role, like a villain role, like Putana and other thing, and he delivers. So, but for some, he does not deliver by his direct physical hand. That's why he used like Astra there or crocodile. He liberated crocodile by his conch shell, sorry, the disc, not by his thing. That's what I interpreted. I don't know if I'm wrong. I'm just asking. I had this doubt when hearing this 2-3
So
session.
about Dushasan, see, Lord had some more, pastimes to perform and to exhibit before the, people. He had to arrange this Kurukshetra, war. And somehow Lord also had to show that he always favors his devotees and his devotees are never perished. So Lord had to show the Pandavas also, fulfilling their promises to Draupadi, whatever pledges they had taken. So Lord delivered even Dushasan. all the fighters were delivered in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Tatheva chanye narloka bira Yahweh Yahweh. And there is a verse that says this thing. Tatheva cha anye narloka bira Yahweh Parth Artha Put Padam Apyasya. All the fighters in the battlefield of Kurukshetra were delivered because they left their body looking at the face of the Lord. This is what there's a verse in Bhagavatam. Tatheb Chanye Narlok Veera Yahweh Krishna Mukhar Bindam. Yahweh means in the war, looking at the lotus feet of the Lord. So Tatheb Chanye Narlok Veera Yahweh Krishna Mukhar Bindam Netre Pimantu Naina Viravam. They were all drinking the nectarian beauty of the Lord. And thus, purified by the arrows of the Parth and let's say by the club of the Bhima, they got purified, and looking at the lotus feet of the Lord, they were promoted to the heavenly planets. And one more thing, Prabhu, it is also a thing that there has never been a case in the history when Lord killed somebody and he was not delivered. Delivered means he was not promoted to the Vaikuntha planet. That means he was not given any kind of, mukti out of 5 kind of mukti. Salu, Kisaru, Sami, Pej, we know. So there has never been an instance in the history that a person or being was killed by the Lord and he was not given some kind of mukti. So why will it happen for the this crocodile? Because Lord cut his head with his, disc here. Lord did not kill Gajendra. Gajendra was taken by the Lord. Gajendra was taken by the Lord out of mercy. He was promoted as a devotee because he offered prayers to the Lord. But this crocodile, his neck was cut by the disc of the Lord, and thus he was killed by the Lord. But there is no case in the history where the Lord did not deliver or did not promote a person to Vaikuntha or give him any kind of, mukti out of 5 kind of mukti who was killed by the Lord. So why will this Gandharva, who will not be promoted? This is also a logic or argument, Prabhu. Do you agree with this?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Or do you agree with this? I think I'm just trying to reach on a conclusion with your assistance.
Frankly speaking, I don't have that much knowledge nor that
No,
confidence. I'm just
but
trying
Prabhu,
to.
no. For example, what is there any case or example in history that Lord killed somebody and did not deliver him? We do not hear.
No, yeah, that
Because
is understood from the Bhagavatam and the stories. But what I understood was the Lord personally attacks any human being or like so-called demon, we call demon. Those guys definitely will be liberated. In another way, what I understood was the touch of the Lord, direct touch of the Lord to anything is almost like a liberated entity, is a living being. The indirect touch of the Lord, you can say indirect grace of the Lord, may not be leading to the spiritual world. It can go to the Brahman, the other form of the what we heard, Lord, like Brahman, Brahma Jyoti, another thing. It may not be directly going to his Golok. This is what somewhere I interpreted. I don't know. I'm not what you call.
but going to Brahma Jyoti is also one kind of mukti, Prabhu.
Yeah, but I heard
So
in some other
going to
classes
Brahma
that it is.
Jyoti is a Sayoj Mukti. It's a Sayoj Mukti. That's also Mukti. It's Sayoj
Yes,
Mukti,
yes.
isn't it? So anyway, for the time being, I mean, from Prabhupada's purpose, we can learn this only, or you can discuss with somebody else also.
Okay.
I will
Thank you
also
so much.
try to
Pra-
understand it.
Prabhuji, piggybacking on Prabhuji's question, I'm here speculating. Is it possible when Lord delivers, he also takes the wills and the wants of the devotee? Maybe the devotee did not want to go to Vaikuntha. Maybe he want to be returned to the Gandharva Loka with his own mates. Is that a possibility? Does it happen?
My submission here is that Madhuri, having faced God face to face, why will someone like to, why would someone deny to go to Vaikuntha planet, Vaikuntha Loka? after having faced Lord face to face. Like Dhruv
Exactly.
Maharaj, he worshipped Lord with some desire. But when he saw the Lord face to face, and Lord fulfilled his material desire, then Dhruv Maharaj went into lamentation. He went into lamentation, oh my God, what did I ask for? I approached a king who could have, given me, who could have given me anything. Who could have given me anything. But I simply asked him only, some rice. And he thinks that he could have given me what not, but I simply asked for, some pieces of glass. There is lamenting. So my submission here is that after having faced the Lord face to face, why will somebody
Sure.
would like to remain in the material world? I
Of
mean, he
course.
becomes purified in his intentions. This is what is my understanding.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Mata. Yes, Raji Prabhu, you have any question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanvar Pranam. Prabhuji, this is with the continuation of it. There was a question that each one of us was also a Brahma one of a time. And if that is correct, then how should we reconcile with the human this calculation of that 8 billion people we have today? And this is only carrying the human form of body, right? The other pieces also. And one Brahma life is 1 day life is 4 million or 4 trillion
311
years.
trillion, 40 billion. Yes.
So
Yes.
that means the soul which this body is carrying is carrying from so many billions of years and is not yet delivered. And this journey is continuing. Or there are situation when the Brahma day ends and this soul get into a Vishnu body and is get delivered. But again, when the Brahma day happen of some human being, and then again in some of the desires again come on this planet or any other planet. So in nutshell, trying to understand this reconciliation of one Brahma, each person has also a Brahma, and there's so many of souls are there. That means how long this journey is for this human, this human life or any pieces we are carrying it.
Okay. First of all, think when one day of Brahma comes to end, that is called one is Naimatik Pralay and one is Atintik Pralay. There is four kind of Pralay, annihilation, and one is Prakritik Pralay. When the Prakritik Pralay or the natural annihilation occurs, then Brahma dies. And at that time, all the living beings or the souls, they enter into the body of the Karanodakshai Vishnu. When one day of Brahma comes to end, that is called, Naimittik Pralay. Naimittik Pralay means Naimittik annihilation. At that time, we as souls enter into the body of the Garbhodakshai Vishnu when Brahma goes to sleep. And when Brahmaji again wakes up, then he again creates, the living beings and gives us bodies. Bodies are a kind of facility for enjoyment. So with whatever desires we went and we went to sleep in the Garbhodakshai Vishnu's body, we are given those kind of bodies when Brahma wakes up. So it is we go into the body of Vishnu as a soul, but these are the Garbhodakshai Vishnu and Karanodaksh Vishnu, and they are the Vishnus who are cause of the material creation. Like from Mahasankarshan, the expansion occurs of the Lord in the form of Pursa Avatara, which is Karanodakshai Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and Kshirodakshai Vishnu. So this expansion from the Karanodakshai Vishnu, what is called the Pursa Avatara, is for the material creation. So here we are not delivered. When we enter into the Mahavishnu body or the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, we are not delivered. We have the facility to sleep there for million of years. But we again come back because of whatever desires we have. Now, there are so many people on the earth now, but this is one universe only. And as we have heard, there are so many universes, and though there are so many Brahmas, and our Brahma is four-headed only. And as we have heard that when Brahma, this four-headed Brahma, approached Dwarkadis, then Lord Dwarkadis asked which Brahma. Then this Brahma was surprised that Brahma is one. Why is Dwarka is saying that which Brahma? So then Dwarkadis, expanded himself, and he showed innumerable Brahmas who had some had 4 heads, some had 8 heads, some had 16 heads, 20 heads, like their 1,000 heads. So this even became more surprising for Brahmaji and for us. So Lord's, expansion and creation and all these things are very difficult to understand, Prabhu. And second thing, what becomes a puzzle is this: the lifespan of Brahma is very long, 311 trillion 40 billion, as we know. And your question is that if each of us have been Brahma, let's say, and there are so many billion of peoples, so then how much time it would have, taken, and we would have spent. So actually the answer to this is this. It actually becomes mind-boggling for all of us. But actually the answer to this. This is what is called Sanatan Dharma. I mean, the material creation, it is created, it remains for a period, then it is annihilated. It is created, it remains for a period, then it's annihilated. This cycle is going on from time immemorial, from eternity. This creation, maintenance, annihilation, going on since time, since eternity. So similarly, if the eternal time is going like this, then maybe we have served as a Brahma also.
Prabhu, this is a good feeling that we have served as a Brahma. But being in Kali Yuga, and so many of billions of years, if our journey is right, then does it mean this journey never ends? If that means so many trillions and trillions of year we are traveling it, right? So it even traveling is there. We might have been to Goloka also during this journey, and again come back also.
We won't have been to Goloka. Irgatta nirvatante. Lord says, by mistake, if we reach there, we will not come back here. So we would have been traveling here and there, but only in the material creations. Only in the material creations. Here only. But we cannot, we won't have been to Goloka. If we have been there, we cannot come back from there. And there one does not reach easily also. Since one does not reach there easily, so one cannot come back from there. So that's for sure. We haven't been to Goloka, but we have been transmigrating in these 84,000 species, because in third canto, Lord Kapila describes that a person, after having committing sinful activities, is punished by the Yamadutas, and there he is given a chance to be born in lower species of life. Then after evolution, he is fortunate enough to get a human form of body. And even in the human form of life, if one does not get the opportunity to associate with the saintly persons, he is again bound to be punished and go into the again cycle of birth and death, 84,000 of the species. So there he says the opportunity to associate with a devotee is a very rare opportunity, because that only paves a way for us, opens the door for Vaikuntha for us. So if one does not get a opportunity to associate with the devotees of the Lord in a human form of life, he is again bound to go to the hellish conditions and again bound to suffer, in this 84,000 of the species. And this cycle may have been going on. The example is given of a banyan tree. There is a one banyan tree, as we say. And banyan tree has so many branches. And from the branches, new roots, they come down. And I'm sure, have you seen a banyan tree, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Banyan tree. And we can see banyan tree is a very ideal tree in the sense that its branches, they also have the roots coming down. From the branches, they have roots coming down, and the roots try to touch the ground. And as soon as they reach the ground, they penetrate the ground and they act as nursing roots of the banyan tree. And this way, a banyan tree can expand even kilometers, even kilometers. So this material world has been compared with a banyan tree only. And even our individual material life has been compared with a banyan tree also. Banyan tree only. And in the banyan tree, just as the branches, from the branches emerge new roots that nourish the banyan tree. Similarly, our material desires, they have no end. The material desires only elongate our stay in the material world, and there's no end to this. Just like in one seed of banyan tree, you know, there are million of banyan trees. How? Because if I plant one seed of banyan tree, there will be a banyan tree which will have, lakhs of, seeds of banyan. And from those lakhs of seeds of banyan, there may be again million of, banyan. So similarly is our desires. Similarly are our material desires. When we enjoy some material desires, like let's say somebody becomes a prime minister of some country, or president of, or let's say big businessman. Then now, when he has become prime minister, this is due to his previous pious activities that he has become prime minister. But in the process of enjoying, or let's say sustaining a position of a prime minister, he is committing so many sinful activities. He is taking sins of all the subject, because Bhagavatam only says this thing. Parikshit Maharaj told the Dharma when he met, he said that 16% of the karma of the total subject a king has to take if the king is not giving them the necessary facilities and protecting them. So somebody has become, let's say, king today or prime minister of some country, let's say today, then he is taking 16%, bad karma of all the subjects of that country. So think of the karma theory. How intriguing it is. It's very difficult. Gehna karmano gati.
Yeah, probably I understood, yes. But again, it's become a mystery that if each one of our Brahma and we are just talking about 5,000 years, which is written, and uh, this, this day of Brahma, right, which is going on currently, right? So we are traveling, this journey is going on. But if there are so many billions of pieces, trillions of pieces are there, if each one of is Brahma, then very difficult to digest that this our soul, which this body is carrying it, right? How much this soul is suffering and suffering and suffering. If that is the case, difficult to understand. Mind
Yes,
gets
yes, yes.
puzzled,
Actually,
right?
it is equally difficult for me also, frankly. I am
Mm,
there with you. But
mm,
since it is Shastric injunction,
mm,
since this is what has been heard from reliable sources, bona fide sources, so
mm.
we have to, reconcile with this thing. Somehow, we have to, and the reconciliation occurs only when we understand the eternity means which has no beginning and no end. Eternity means which has no beginning, no end. So when this nature was created, when this was annihilated, this has been cycle and cycle, cycle and cycle, cycle and cycle.
Yeah,
And
probably.
we
Yeah.
have been,
Mm. Yes, no beginning, no end. Understand, and that's what everybody is trying to, that do their best, do do the chanting, have sadhu sangha, so that this sometime this ends, right? Sometime this should end. You should meet your end goal of Goloka, if that is the desire of a human being. If but the calculation get puzzled, that why such a, if each one is a Brahma, there's so many or billions, multiply that, that then mean,
yeah, it
how
becomes mind-boggling. All
how to
calculators will
reconcile
fail.
this, difficult to, not able to
Yeah, yeah,
reconcile really. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But
So eternity. Yeah,
if you look at a Gita, that Krishna says that, you, leave out all the dharmas, you just come into me, I will deliver you. It's very simple, you you still have lot of confidence into that. Okay, it is there, so just follow it. But this calculation doesn't get into head that how does this get into reconcile? Yeah.
Yes, true. Actually, what is happening? We, as of now, having been educated in the material education system, in the so-called scientific engineering, all these kind of colleges, we are actually kind of jnani yogis. We are not bhakti yogis purely. We are actually trying to become bhakta, devotee, of performing sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means some prescribed ways of engaging in the devotion service of the Lord. But actually, when we try to understand the Lord by our mental calculation, then actually it is kind of Gyan Yoga. So our this Bhakti Yoga is Gyan Yoga Mistrit. It is, with Gyan Yoga. Now what happens? Think of a devotee in the Vrindavan who has unflinching faith in the Lord and Radharani. Unflinching faith in Radharani and the Lord. But he does not have any such knowledge. What we are discussing right now. That person's faith is far better because his consciousness has evolved far further advanced than us actually. So he does not have to go by the it happened in the case of a cobbler and the case of a Brahmin that Naradji happened to pass by that Brahmin and cobbler. You might have heard this story. And those two people asked Naradji, where are you going? Naradji said, I'm going to Brahmaji. So this Brahmin said, I am worshipping Lord. Ask him when shall I return back to Godhead. And cobbler also asked the same question. When he came back, Brahmin said, yes, what did Lord say? Lord said that after 1,000 verse. Brahmin said, oh, this is frustrating for me. How come, I am engaged with my body and soul 24 hours and it's worship and after 1,000 years? Why? I can understand this thing. And by the way, what was Lord doing? Naradji, when he went there, he said, Lord was passing an elephant through the needle.
Yeah.
And the same thing he told to the cobbler.
Yeah.
And cobbler was told that you will go back to Godhead, after million of years. And he became very pleased. Oh my Lord, after million years, I will, reach to Lord. So see, look at the patience. A person, that means patience means he has unflinching faith in the Lord. And also he has, a person who has some enjoyment propensity will lose his patience. Only a person who does not have any personal self will not lose the patience. The cobbler did not have. And the cobbler said one more thing, by the way, what the Lord was doing? The Lord was passing elephant. He said, yes, it is possible. Why? Naraji said, how it is possible? Cobbler said, I am sitting below a banyan tree. And if in one seed of banyan, there can be million of banyans, such million banyans, then why my Lord cannot, if my Lord can, put million of banyans inside one pill or one seed of a banyan, then why my Lord cannot pass an elephant from the needle? Look at the argument. So this argument of the cobbler is based on the faith and of a devotion and of a devotee. Refer to a devotee in the Vrindavan who has unflinching faith in the words of Radharani and Krishna. And we are like a Brahmin. We are enjoying, we are living for a selfish life. And out of the selfish life, we have lost our patience. So we want to go back to Godhead and only in one life. It happened by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. There was a devotee who somehow was, made to attend this Kirtan in the Siva Sanga. And I'm not able to recall the whole story. There also Lord denied his mercy. But then Lord somehow on somebody's recommendation said, okay, after 1,000 lives, he will meet me. And when he was told that after 1,000 lives, you can associate or be partake in the, dance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Siva Sanga, the devotee started dancing. Lord Chaitanya became so pleased with his patience that he embraced him and he called him and he made him part. So, I mean, this is a test. Patience, if we don't have, that means we have some self program. We lose only patience if we have some personal program. Yes, Prabhu.
So, Prabhu, in summary, let's not get into such kind of a mental speculation. They are all used to be baseless, right?
And let's not treat them as baseless, but actually what happens, see, when we try to understand the Lord anyway, a Lord's all kind of opulence and power, strength, everything is immeasurable. That's why Lord's name is Aparmeya, Aparmeya Syam, one who cannot be measured in any way. We talk about, let's say, this itself becomes a mind-boggling question. Let's discuss a minute further. Hubble telescope, Webb's telescope, they have failed to measure the length and breadth of the universe, as we know. Isn't it true? They have failed. According to the scientists also, the length of the and breadth of the universe is unknown. And they talk about, million and thousands of, light years away. But when Lord Vamandev, he expanded one leg. In one leg and the body, he covered the, all the celestial planets, all the directions and the earth. And in the second leg, he penetrated even the cover. So that means if we go by this calculation, thousand of light years, if we now go into detailed calculation, what is light year, as you know? The distance that light travels in 1 year. Light travels 3 lakh kilometers in 1 second. Then imagine how much light will travel in 1 year. Imagine how much light will travel in 1,000 years. And even at such distances, there is no boundary of the universe. And such boundary was penetrated by the, second step of the Lord. So this itself becomes, immeasurable for us, mind-boggling for us. So any activity of the Lord, if we go, it's always mind-boggling. It's actually, therefore, the Lord's Brahma said, Jnane Pyasam Udupas. Those who give up the, this process of just, thinking and measuring you or attaining you through the knowledge. Only those who just enjoy your pastimes with faith and from your devotees, they can attain you. So actually, this is not all baseless, but what we can understand is this: eternity means beginning, that which has no beginning, no end. And we do not have, facility to understand all this.
Thank you, bro. Yes. Thank you, bro. Thanks. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your time, for answering all the questions very nicely and very nice discussion. Okay, there is one more question. Do you have time, Prabhuji?
Yes, we can take.
Okay, Bala Prabhu, please go ahead with your question.
Maybe some nice idea from
Thank
Bala.
you. Yeah, I appreciate your patience. All my questions got cleared up from the questions that was put forward before. I just want to thank you for your patience. I want to have more association of you, but I don't have any questions. But every answer you gave is so powerful that all my questions got cleared. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
That simply means you have faith in the Lord. Devotees' convictions can be convincing only to the devotees, not to the materialistic person. That simply means you have tremendous faith in the Lord, bro. You have tremendous faith in the Bhagavatam, because I am not speaking from physics, chemistry, or mathematics. I am simply trying to elaborate the principle of Bhagavatam as I have been able to understand. So you have faith in Bhagavatam. That means you have faith in the Lord, and that's why you are able to enjoy all this, Prabhu, I can say. So my all prayers to the Lord.
Thank you. And one other thing I want to reflect, when you said about cobbler, even Prabhupada also had a similar discussions with all the people that when I read Lilamrita and the discussion from senior devotees, that wherever he goes, he had a similar kind of propositions with the intelligentsia, right? And you put it in one sentence that's so beautiful. We are all jnanis. The fact that we are taking the STEM program, science and doctor and physicians, whatever we're doing, we're all jnanis. So that is once. Prabhupada also added it also the same when he was dealing with the. And then one point Prabhupada said, which really got my attention, which is there's no university has a center studying the soul, right? We all have all kind of bodily concept of understanding. Nobody has a soul understanding.
Yes.
And that's exactly what Bhagavad Gita points out, what Prabhupada translated. Thank you so much.
And Prabhu, I would just take 1 more minute here. See how it's happening. The curriculum earlier in the Gurukulas, it used to be balanced. Like Prahlad Maharaj was being taught Arthastra, Rajni Shastra also. By politics, he was being taught political science. He was being taught economics also by the Sanga and work, apart from other things. Similarly, till some time back, there were traces of Vedic, system in India. Like when I studied here in India, I had Bhagavad Gita in my curriculum. I was fortunate enough to read some part of Bhagavad Gita. I had complete Ishopanishad in my curriculum in 10th standard of Sanskrit.
Wonderful.
Now it is not there. It is due to effect of the Kali Yuga. So if we go back, like I studied in 10th standard some 40 years back, let's say 45 years back. So if I go back even 45 years back from my own life, let's say, then there used to be Gurukula, which used to give some knowledge about material science, but more knowledge about, soul and the lessons of the soul. Like Lord also gave some knowledge about the material science in Bhagavad Gita. And Lord simply said this thing, that this body consisting of the material elements, it is perishable. Lord simply told this much about the material knowledge, that you must understand that all material elements of which the body is constituted, it is perishable, but the soul is not perishable. This is what the Sankhya Yoga Lord told in the Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter. So that means even in the still some time back, till hundreds of years back, there were Gurukulas here where the emphasis was on spiritual science. But now today the complete emphasis on the material science. So as Prabhupada says, and as you rightly acknowledged, we have become jad, matter. We have become inert. We have become emotionless now. We have become like animals. So it is because of kind of study, or let's say post material that we are being taught.
Yeah.
Thank you all devotees. Thank you all, Prabhu. We will meet again. Thank you all. All glories to Sri Prabhupada.
Thank
All
you so
glories
much,
to
Prabhuji. Very grateful to you. I would like to offer my obeisances to you and all the Vaishnavas assembled on the call. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhu bheva japatitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Grace Haridas Thakur Prabhuji ki jai.
Srila
Thank you so much,
Prabhupada ki
Prabhuji.
Radhe
Very
Radhe.
grateful to you. Hare Krishna.
Radhe Radhe.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Closing the call for today.